1 hour of focused effort could be the difference between where you are now and the life you've been dreaming of. The question isn't whether you have the time. The real question is, are you ready to use it like your life depends on it? Because it does. Dedicating just 60 focused minutes each day could alter the entire trajectory of your future. Most wouldn't believe it. Conditioned to think greatness requires either divine luck or backbreaking sacrifice. But here's the reality they never taught you. Seismic change begins in small daily increments, not with a tidal wave, but with consistent ripples. While the world sleeps through alarms and mindlessly consumes content, you could be harnessing that same golden hour to reinvent yourself. The majority wander through life on autopilot, scrolling, reacting, existing, but never deliberately constructing. They mistake motion for progress, activity for achievement. You recognize the truth. Transformation hides in those quiet, intentional pockets of time most people give away without thought. This is about more than minutes on a clock. It's about claiming sovereignty over your attention in an age of endless distraction. That single daily hour, when invested with precision, becomes the compound interest of self-reinvention. Your future self isn't shaped by grand, sporadic gestures, but by what you do consistently in these stolen moments between obligations. The question hangs in the air, heavy with possibility. How will you spend your next 60 minutes watching life happen or architecting the one you truly want? This is about your legacy, because extraordinary lives aren't built by chance, but by daily choices. You don't need to wait for January 1st, a lucky break, or someone's approval. The power to change everything lies in one simple truth. What you do with your next 60 minutes determines what your life looks like in 60 years. Let's talk about reclaiming your mornings. That first hour after you wake up, it's not just time, it's sacred ground. It's the control room of your destiny. Yet most people surrender it before their feet even hit the floor. They grab their phone and let the world flood in. Emails, headlines, other people's agendas, while their own dreams wait in silence. Here's the hard truth. If you don't consciously direct your mind in those early moments, the world will hijack it for you. And the world doesn't care about your potential. It will drown you in chaos, comparison, and trivial distractions until you're just another passenger in your own life. But you're different. You understand that how you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. Will you let outside noise dictate your direction, or will you seize that golden hour to fuel your purpose, sharpen your focus, and build something that outlasts you? The choice is yours, and it begins the moment you open your eyes. Will you take control or remain on autopilot? Here's your mission. If you want everything to change, you have to change first. And it starts by reclaiming that sacred hour before the world gets its hands on you. No emails, no endless scrolling, no outside noise, just you, your purpose, and the quiet power of a morning untouched by chaos. But first you have to pray, then align your purpose. Wake up earlier, not because some guru said to, but because you've got a life to build. Use that hour like a master craftsman uses their tools, with precision and intent. Devour pages of a book that shifts your mindset. Put pen to paper and define what matters most. Move with intention. Hydrate your ambition and sit in stillness long enough to hear your own thoughts. Do what the old version of you always didn't have time for. Because here's the raw truth. Control your first hour and you control your day. String enough of those days together and you don't just change your life, you rewrite your legacy. And to those who say, I'm not a morning person, let's be real. Success doesn't adjust to your preferences. Champions aren't born with some magical love of 5 a.m. They choose it, grind through it, and soon they crave it. So tomorrow, before you reach for your phone, reach for your future. That first hour isn't for consuming, it's for creating. Don't just wake up, level up. Your breakthrough isn't waiting for you when the world is already loud. It's waiting in those still dark hours when everyone else is asleep. The question is, will you meet it there? Your movement. So claim it, own it, fortify it. That first hour isn't just time, it's your lifeline. And when you start your day already grounded, already focused, already ahead, that's when you stop reacting to life and start commanding it. You won't just be ready, you'll be unstoppable. And that's where true transformation begins. Now, guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. The world won't respect this hour. It will come for it, softly, sneakily. A quick text, a small favor, a harmless scroll. And just like that, your power hour slips away, wasted on things that don't move your mission forward. Understand this. This hour is not optional. It's not negotiable. It's not for sale. It's your foundation, your edge, your secret weapon. So lock it down. Defend it fiercely, because if you don't treat it like the treasure it is, no one else will. This is your life, your rules, your hour. Now go protect it. Here's the hard truth. Time isn't just money. It's something far more dangerous to waste. You can always earn back $1, but you'll never reclaim a lost hour. So what's the solution? You build a fortress around it. You declare, this hour's mine. No calls, no emails, no mindless scrolling, not because you're selfish, but because you're strategic. Think about it like this. A builder doesn't lend out his best tools. A farmer doesn't neglect his soil. A warrior doesn't drop his shield. Your hour is no different. If you invest it wisely, it will repay you 100-fold in sharpened skills, unshakable clarity, and real results that compound over time. But only if you refuse to trade it for crumbs. Let that sink in. Most people surrender their golden hour for trivial things. I'll just check this. Let me reply real quick. This won't take long. And before they know it, they've spent their most valuable time serving the world instead of shaping it. So here's the ritual. Every night, schedule your hour like an unbreakable contract. Name it, claim it, defend it. Tell your family, your friends, even your own wandering mind, this is my time to grow, to create, to build something greater. And if they don't respect it at first, teach them. Not with words, but with unwavering consistency. Because when they see the results of your discipline, the focus, the progress, the quiet confidence, they won't just understand, they'll start guarding their own hours too. This is how legacies are built, one protected hour at a time. The question is, will you defend yours? Let me paint you the brutal truth. Every morning, you stand at a crossroads while the world sleeps. One path leads to the same worn-out routine, where hours slip like sand through your fingers. The other, that's where warriors are made. That sacred hour before dawn isn't just time. It's the anvil where ordinary lives are forged into extraordinary legacies. The greatest tragedy isn't failure. It's trading diamonds for pebbles. Selling your golden hour for cheap distractions that leave you emptier than before. Imagine this, a year from now looking back at today. Will you remember the notifications you checked or the person you became in those stolen morning moments? The choice is stark. Either you own your mornings or the world owns you. This isn't about waking up earlier. It's about resurrecting the version of you that's been buried under excuses and some days. That first hour is your rebellion against mediocrity, your private revolution where you stop consuming and start creating, where you cease reacting and begin building. The world will laugh. It will whisper that you're extreme, that rest is sacred too. But here's what they won't tell you. Real rest comes from living aligned with your purpose, not from stealing extra minutes of sleep. When you protect that hour like your life depends on it, something shifts. The fog lifts. Clarity comes. Opportunities appear where others see obstacles. Not because the universe favors you, but because you've finally positioned yourself to receive what was always there for the taking. Tonight, when you lay your head down, make this pact with your future self. Tomorrow's first hour belongs to the person you're becoming, not to social media, not to someone else's agenda, not to the lazy ghost of who you used to be. Set the alarm, then set your intention. When the darkness still clings to the windows and the world feels asleep, that's when your magic hour begins. That's when legends are born. This is your time. Take it, guard it, and watch how one disciplined hour begins to rewrite your entire story. Here's the raw truth. No one tells you when you start treating your time like the priceless currency it is, the world suddenly starts treating you differently. It's not about being selfish. It's about sending a signal to the universe that you're done playing small. The rule is non-negotiable. If it doesn't build you, it doesn't get your hour. Full stop. This isn't time management, it's life management. It's looking your future in the eye and saying, you're worth fighting for. And that first hour, that's your battleground. Guard it like the treasure it is, because that single hour is what stands between you and mediocrity, between dreams and reality, between who you are and who you're meant to become. But here's where most stumble. They protect the hour, then waste it on motion without meaning. Activity without direction is just noise. You can wake up at 5 a.m. and still lose the war if you're not crystal clear on what to do with that sacred time. The world is full of busy people running in circles, mistaking effort for progress. Don't be one of them. Direction comes before action. Before you charge forward, you've got to know why you're charging. That hour isn't for checking boxes. It's for aligning your soul with your purpose, for sharpening your vision so clearly that every action afterward becomes intentional, powerful, unstoppable. So tonight, don't just set your alarm, set your intention. When morning comes and the world is quiet, don't just do, decide. Decide who you're becoming. Decide what matters. Decide that this hour will be your compass, not your crutch. Because when you combine protected time with ruthless clarity, that's when the magic happens. That's when you stop chasing life and start commanding it. The question is, do you know where you're going? Here's the cold hard truth. Action without direction is the fastest way to burn out. It's like revving an engine at full speed while stuck in neutral. You're making noise, you're burning fuel, but you're not moving forward. That's why most people spin their wheels in that sacred hour and wonder why nothing changes. They're busy, but they're lost. They're moving, but they're not advancing. And here's why. They never stop to ask the one question that changes everything. Where am I going? Direction isn't just part of the process, it is the process. Without it, you're just another ship adrift at sea, hoping the current will carry you somewhere worthwhile. But when you know your destination, every stroke of the oar, every gust of wind, every decision you make becomes intentional. That's the power of clarity. It transforms effort into progress, activity into achievement, and dreams into reality. So here's the game changer. Before you dive into your hour, before you read, write, plan, or train, pause. Take 3 minutes, just 3, and ask yourself, what's my goal today? What skill am I honing? What am I building toward? And most critically, why does it matter to me? Then write it down, not in your head, not as a passing thought, but on paper. Because when you externalize your purpose, it stops being a vague idea and becomes a roadmap. Clarity on paper becomes focus in action. Focus in action becomes unstoppable momentum. And Rome was right. Reasons come first, answers come second. When you know your why, the how reveals itself. When you're clear on your destination, the path appears. So don't just spend your hour, invest it. Start with direction and watch as every action that follows becomes purposeful, powerful, and precise. This is how you turn time into progress, effort into results, and dreams into your future. Now, where are you going? Because here's what happens when you get this right. Your hour transforms from a routine into a revelation. Those 3 minutes of clarity become the rudder that steers your entire day. Suddenly, every page you read, every word you write, every rep you complete isn't just an action. It's a strategic step toward a version of yourself that makes your current reality look small. That's the power of direction. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. But most never experience this. They jump straight into motion without a map, mistaking speed for progress. They'll spend their hour consuming content without context, building skills without strategy, chasing goals without grounding. And then they wonder why, after months of hustle, they're still in the same place. The brutal truth, wasted time hurts more than wasted money. You can recover lost dollars, but you'll never get back hours spent wandering without purpose. This is why the elite approach their hour differently. Before they act, they align. Before they execute, they strategize. They understand that 57 minutes of focused action with 3 minutes of crystal clear direction will outperform 60 minutes of aimless activity every single time. It's not about working harder, it's about working with intention. The same energy channeled with precision becomes unstoppable force instead of scattered noise. So tomorrow, when your alarm sounds and the world is still asleep, do this differently. Sit with your notebook before you reach for anything else. Ask the hard questions. Define your target. Connect today's effort to tomorrow's vision. Because when you start your hour with this kind of ruthless clarity, something shifts. You stop being a participant in your life and start being the architect. The choice is yours. Will your next hour be another drop in the bucket or the first stroke of a masterpiece? The clock's ticking. Where's your compass pointed? Speed means nothing if you're headed in the wrong direction. The man who knows his why moves with purpose, step by deliberate step, and leaves the frantic sprinters in the dust. Why? Because he's not just moving, he's progressing. Every action is a brick laid in the foundation of his future, not just another random motion to fill the time. So tomorrow, when that sacred hour arrives, don't just decide. Decide. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? What matter today? What single step will pull my vision closer? Write it down, speak it aloud, burn it into your mind. This isn't wasted time, it's the most valuable time. Because when you start with direction, your hour transforms from a routine into a revolution. Every minute becomes infused with meaning. Every effort carries weight. You're no longer just passing time. You're claiming it, shaping it, bending it toward your destiny. This is the difference between living by default and living by design, between a life that happens to you and a life you create. So tell me, when your hour begins tomorrow, will you rush into the fog? Or will you light a torch, point it toward your future, and march straight for what matters? The path is waiting. All you have to do is choose it. Here's the raw truth no one tells you. Real change doesn't come from grinding harder. It comes from learning smarter. While the world drowns in distractions, your greatest weapon is that one sacred hour where you feed your mind instead of wasting it. Success isn't just about doing. It's about knowing what to do, how to do it, and why it matters. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And the moment you stop growing, life passes you by. But here's the good news. Learning isn't complicated. You don't need a degree or a fortune to transform your mind. All you need is one focused hour a day, 60 minutes where you choose wisdom over noise. While others scroll, you study. While they gossip, you grow. While they consume trash, you consume truth. And over time, that daily discipline doesn't just add up, it multiplies. You solve problems faster, you think clearer, you stand taller, because knowledge isn't just power. It's confidence, it's leverage, it's freedom. So what do you fill that hour with? Books that stretch your mind. Biographies of those who've already walked the path. Lessons from mentors who paid the price so you don't have to. Skills that make you indispensable. Mindset shifts that turn obstacles into fuel. Health principles that give you energy. Wealth strategies that make money work for you. You don't just read, you absorb, you apply, you transform. Formal education might get you a paycheck, but self-education builds empires. The most successful people in the world aren't just doers, they are learners. They know that an hour a day invested in their mind compounds into a lifetime of advantage. So ask yourself, what's your next hour worth? Another mindless scroll, or the first step toward the life you've always wanted? The books are waiting. The knowledge is there. The choice is yours. Learn for an hour, dominate for a lifetime. Here's the undeniable truth. Knowledge is the lens through which you see the world. And the sharper that lens, the clearer your path becomes. Every page you read, every lesson you absorb, every skill you master doesn't just add to your mind, it rewires your vision. Suddenly opportunities jump out where others see dead ends. Decisions become obvious that once felt impossible. Why? Because learning isn't just collecting facts, it's upgrading your entire operating system. But this isn't about passive consumption. This is about sitting down with the raw determination to mine wisdom from every resource within reach. That book isn't just paper. It's a mentor waiting to speak. That course isn't just content. It's a shortcut someone paid years to create. That notebook isn't just blank pages. It's the battlefield where insights become action. When you declare, this is my growth hour, you're not just setting aside time. You're staging a rebellion against mediocrity. Let's talk compounding. 1 hour a day is a whisper in the moment, but a roar over time. In a year, you've banked 365 hours, 9 full-time weeks of pure mental expansion. Imagine who you'd become with 9 weeks of undistilled focus on your craft, your mindset, your future. Your words carry weight because you fill them with substance. Your confidence isn't borrowed, it's earned through the quiet certainty of someone who's done the work. Problems that once derailed you now bend to your will because you've armed yourself with solutions before they even arise. Here's the kicker. This wealth can't be confiscated. Market crashes don't erase it. Critics can't diminish it. Time can't decay it. Every lesson you internalize becomes permanent currency. Interest paid daily on the life you're building. So tonight, lay your weapons on the table, stack the books that challenge you, bookmark the lectures that unsettle your excuses. Have your tools ready so when your hour strikes, you're not fumbling, you're charging. Because the ritual isn't just in the learning, it's in the preparation. It's in the deliberate choice to say, I will not let a day pass without growing. The equation is simple. Feed your mind daily, and your life expands exponentially. The person who commits to this doesn't just earn more, they become more. And in the end, that's the only currency that truly matters. The hour is yours. What will you make of it? Here's the hard truth. Knowledge without action is just expensive entertainment. You can devour every book, binge every podcast, and soak up every seminar. But if you never use what you learn, you're not a student, you're a collector. And the world doesn't reward collectors, it rewards doers. Let's be brutally honest. Reading about public speaking won't make you charismatic. Only standing up and speaking will. Studying workout plans won't sculpt your body. Only lifting, sweating, and showing up will. Memorizing sales tactics won't fill your bank account. Only picking up the phone and closing deals will. Skill isn't born in theory, it's forged in repetition. That's why 1 hour of practice crushes 10 hours of passive learning. Action is the alchemy that turns I know into I can. It's the difference between dreaming about a skill and owning it. So here's your new rule. For every hour you spend learning, spend another applying. Read a chapter? Great. Now implement one tactic before sunset. Watch a tutorial, stop the video and do the thing. Study a case study, reverse engineer it for your own life. This is how legends are made. Not by hoarding knowledge, but by letting it bleed into their work, their craft, their daily grind. The clock's ticking. Will you stay in the stands or step onto the field and play? The gap between where you are and where you want to be is called practice. Now go close it. You've got to step into the arena. That's where change begins. But here's the trap so many people fall into. They wait. They wait to feel ready. They wait until they have more confidence, more clarity, or the perfect plan. But that day never comes. Because here's the truth. Confidence doesn't show up before you act. Confidence is born through action. Every single time you take a step, no matter how small, you gain strength. Every attempt sharpens your edge. Every moment you show up, you grow into the person you're becoming. So, what does this mean for your 1 powerful hour? It means part of that time must be hands-on. Not just learning in theory, but applying it in real time. If you're learning to write, write something today. If you're developing your voice, speak out loud, even if it's just to yourself. If you're diving into business, start building, draft the plan, make the pitch, take the call. And if your path is design, don't wait for a class or a mentor. Open the software and start creating. No more hesitation, no more endless preparation, no more waiting for the stars to align, just action, repetition, momentum. Because greatness isn't born from getting it perfect the first time, it's built by showing up consistently. Repetition is the mother of skill, not perfection, repetition. You don't have to nail it on day one, you just have to start. Then with time, you refine it, improve it, polish it. That's how progress is made, that's how professionals are built. And it all begins with showing up today. And here's something else. When you show up daily and practice with intention, progress stops being a theory. It becomes visible. You can feel it, you can measure it. You begin to notice the shift in your thinking, your skill, your results. But more importantly, you begin to trust yourself. And that trust, that's the real breakthrough. Because once you trust your own effort, once you believe that your consistency will pay off, you become unstoppable. So here's your challenge. Take what you learned yesterday and use it today, not next week, not when it feels perfect, today Even if it's messy, even if it's small, even if it's uncomfortable, just start. Because action, bold, focused, imperfect action turns knowledge into real power. 1 hour of doing can change more than a lifetime of wishing, planning, or overthinking. And as you move forward, don't just power through each day. Stop, reflect, refine, repeat. Growth isn't just about moving, it's about moving with awareness. Life doesn't get better just because you stay busy. It gets better when you pause long enough to ask yourself the question that truly matters. How did I do today? That's where the growth lives. In the honest answers, in the subtle adjustments, in the quiet confidence that builds when you know you're not just going through the motions, you're growing through them. Not just in the doing, but in the reviewing, that's where the real transformation happens. Jim Rohn once said, "A life worth living is a life worth recording." And I'll add this, a life worth recording is a life that keeps improving. So let's break it down. At the end of your 1 hour, not at the beginning, not later, not tomorrow, take just 5 minutes to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What did I accomplish? What challenged me? And what will I do better tomorrow? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be honest. Most people skip this step. Why? Because reflection demands truth. It uncovers patterns, some productive, some destructive. It shows whether you're truly making progress or just staying busy. But here's where the power lies. Reflection brings clarity. Clarity sparks improvement, and improvement is what creates results. And once you reflect, don't stop there, refine. What can be tightened? What can be removed, improved, added, or simplified? You don't need to flip your life upside down every week. Real excellence doesn't come from massive overhauls. It comes from small, intentional, intelligent adjustments made consistently over time. Think of it like this. Airplanes are off course about 90% of the time, but they're always making micro adjustments. And guess what? They still land exactly where they're supposed to. Why? Because they reflect, they refine, and they repeat. That's your formula too. Every hour you invest in yourself, review it, refine it, then repeat it tomorrow just a little better. Do that for a week and you'll feel the difference. Do it for a month and others will notice. Do it for a year and your life will never look the same. Because while some people grow slowly through random experience, those who grow through evaluated experience, they grow fast, they grow strong, they grow wise. So don't just live your life, examine it, shape it, elevate it, reflect, refine, repeat. That's how you rise above average. That's how you turn 1 hour a day into a life of purpose, power, and unstoppable progress. Exceptional health begins with a simple choice. 1 powerful hour a day. It's true what they say, 1 hour of health a day can keep the doctor away. But let me remind you of something most people forget. Your body isn't just the vehicle you use to get through life. It's the engine that drives everything. And if that engine fails, it doesn't matter how big your dreams are, how detailed your goals may be, or how much success you've stacked in your bank account. Because when your health breaks down, everything else slows down with it. Your mind and body are deeply connected. When your body is tired, your thinking gets foggy. When you're weak, your leadership loses its edge. When you're burnt out, your creativity shuts down. So what's the solution? You protect and invest in the most important machine you'll ever own, your body. Just 1 hour a day. That's it. Now let me be clear. I'm not telling you to train like an athlete or live in the gym. I'm saying move, breathe, stretch, sweat. Do what your body was designed to do. Because when you honor your health, your energy rises. And when your energy rises, so does everything else. Your focus, your drive, your results. Energy is the fuel for achievement. One more clarity, move your body. One more momentum, break a sweat. One more peace, breathe with intention. And the beauty is, it doesn't take all day. Just one focused hour. Go for a morning walk, do a short yoga session, lift something heavy, step into the sunlight. Fill your lungs with fresh air. It's simple, but it's life-giving. And here's a truth you can't afford to ignore. Neglect is silent. It doesn't scream. It whispers. A few missed workouts, a few too many takeout meals, a few long days stuck in the chair. Then little by little, the body begins to break down. Not overnight, quietly, slowly. Until the bill comes through a doctor's report, a sudden dip in energy, or a missed opportunity you weren't strong enough to pursue. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. So guard that hour. Protect it like your future depends on it, because it absolutely does. Build your strength, not just your skills, because you can't give your best if you're running on fumes. You can't lead others if you can't lift yourself. And you certainly can't fulfill your purpose if you're constantly managing pain or fatigue. Starting today, treat your health like the foundation of your future, because it is. 1 hour a day to move, to stretch, to fuel, to rest. 1 hour a day to keep the doctor away and bring success closer than ever. This is the quiet hour that builds the loudest results. Let me teach you how you can build a fortune in the quiet hour. Let me share something that could change the trajectory of your life. Profits are better than wages. Wages will give you a living, yes, but profits build a fortune. And contrary to what the world tells you, you don't need 10 hours a day, a large team, or anyone's permission to begin. What you truly need is 1 quiet hour. Here's what most people do. They get home from work and they check out. They tell themselves, I've done enough for today. So they scroll, they binge, they escape. Then wonder why nothing changes. But there's a powerful moment hiding in plain sight. The quiet hour. That pocket of time after dinner, before bed, when the world slows down and distractions fade. That's your moment. That's your space, not to consume, but to create. Not for your boss, not for a paycheck, but for your future. In that single hour, you can begin something that belongs to you. A side business, a new skill, a brand, a strategy, a product, a plan. You can write, you can build, you can sell. You don't need a shiny office or the perfect setup. You need hunger, focused, relentless hunger. And 1 sacred hour you refuse to hand over to the world. Let me be upfront. Results won't show up overnight. But results aren't the first reward, momentum is. 1 hour a day becomes 5 hours a week. That's 260 hours a year. That's not small. That's the difference between staying stuck and stepping forward. That's a book written, a course launched, a dream funded, a future rewritten. But only if you treat the hour like it's treasure. Not a moment to waste, but a seed to plant. Because wealth isn't built with wishes. It's built with work. Quiet, consistent, focused work. Especially when no one's watching. And here's the beautiful truth. If you show up for that hour long enough, one day you'll look back and realize that little hour built more than a business. It built your confidence. It built your income. It built your independence. And it all started with one bold decision to stop wasting the quiet hour and start owning it. Relationships. A fortune built 1 hour at a time. Let's talk about what most success books tend to skip. Relationships. Because what's the point of building a fortune, sculpting a strong body, or sharpening your mind if you have no one to share it with? What's the reward of climbing to the top if the view is empty? The truth is, success without connection is hollow. A powerful life isn't just made of habits and hustle, it's made of people. Just like you can grow wealth one quiet hour at a time, you can grow relationships in the very same way. 1 hour of genuine presence, 1 hour of real conversation, 1 hour of listening, not just hearing, 1 hour of putting your phone down, looking someone in the eyes, and making them feel like they matter. Because people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And that feeling is born in the time you give. I'm not asking you to give 10 hours a week. I'm not saying you need to be everyone's therapist. What I am saying is this: take 1 hour and give it fully, intentionally to someone who matters. Your spouse, your child, your parent, your mentor, your friend. Don't just be in the same room. Be there. Ask questions, share stories, laugh, or just sit together in silence. Because presence is powerful. And here's what happens when you do this. Trust grows. Walls begin to crumble. Love deepens. Connection multiplies. It doesn't require a fancy trip or a candlelit dinner. Just 1 undistracted hour where your heart is open and your attention is undivided. That's where real relationships are built. And the people who know how to build deep, lasting relationships, they always win in the long run. Because when the storms of life come, and they will, it won't be your bank account holding your hand. It won't be your business hugging you in the dark. It'll be the people who know you, love you, and walk with you. So, schedule that hour, make it sacred, because if you don't invest in people, you could wake up one day surrounded by things, yet feeling completely alone. The richest life isn't measured in milestones. It's measured in memories. And memories are made 1 meaningful hour at a time. Stack your hours, stack your future. And memories, they're made in moments. Moments like this. Moments that begin with just 1 intentional hour. So the next time you think about success, remember this: don't just build your future, build your people, build your life, and do it 1 hour at a time. To recap, 1 hour to a transformed life. 1, reflect, refine, repeat. Not just in the doing, but in the reviewing. A life worth living is a life worth recording. And I'll add this: a life worth recording is a life that keeps improving. At the end of each hour, not tomorrow, not later, take 5 minutes to reflect. Walled over eating the. What did you accomplish? What did you struggle with? What will you do better tomorrow? Most people won't do this because it reveals their patterns. But that's the point. Reflection creates clarity. Clarity creates improvement. Improvement creates results. Then refine. What can be tightened? What can be removed? What can be improved? You don't need to overhaul your life weekly. Just small, intelligent corrections. Like airplanes that adjust mid-flight, so can you. Reflect, refine, repeat. That's how you move from ordinary to exceptional. 2, the quiet hour, exceptional. 1 hour of health a day keeps the doctor away. Your body isn't just a vehicle, it's the engine of your life. When health breaks down, everything slows down. The mind and body are connected. You need to move, breathe, stretch, sweat. 1 focused hour a day. Walk, do yoga, lift, soak in sunshine. Elevate your energy, because energy fuels achievement. Take the hour. Use it to build strength, not just skills. Treat your health like your future depends on it, because it does. 3, build a fortune in the quiet hour. Profits are better than wages. Wages make a living. Profits build a fortune. And fortunes are built in quiet hours. 1 quiet hour after work, before bed, after dinner. Not for your boss, for your future. Use it to learn a skill. Mr. Eben, start a side business. Plan, write, sell. 1 hour a day equals 260 hours a year. That's massive. That's a product. That's a platform. But only if you treat the hour like treasure.